This is part 2 of what makes this solution to loneliness uniquely important. This is another copyrighted edition of our video channel with Godwin as owner of this channel. Please like, comment or share this video. By now, perhaps you can understand as long as there are processes people go through in order to get out of the rainforest that could seem like a maze at times, then it is possible to study exactly what processes are involved for people to get out of the maze of loneliness for most people, as Godwin was able to link these processes with science and studies that were done in past. Now you know why wisdom is not philosophy or idea, since a path out of rainforest can allow most people to go on to reach the exit, repeatedly no matter how many times you do the testing of this. You can say some of Godwin's research is on this, what no one has ever able to figure out and write clearly on paper about exactly what the processes are. This is why anyone who can provide clarity and details of the processes involved could be enough to be jaw-dropping for any professor with advanced learning ability like Dr. Peterson. Otherwise, the complexity involved could make most people feel like they don't know even where to begin about how to describe what these processes are. If you don't believe me, all you have to do is to try writing about these processes or asking the smartest people you know to try writing about them, then you might agree this complexity is beyond what most people can describe clearly in length. This is why if a person could achieve this, therefore this would make it possible to teach students, and training them to have the same ability. But for anyone else, a cloud of unknowing will be in front of them so they can't move an inch further. Now do you see why Dr. Peterson believes Godwin can teach wisdom, with details Dr. Peterson never read about before in life? But the second reason why parents and students must get involved has to do with, according to IMF, AI could be affecting as many as 60% of jobs for advanced economies. YouTuber Stephen Shu explained this by saying the productivity of AI is so great that it can do the jobs of 7 people. So 7 out of 10 people at a company could get laid off. But after Shu did a review of articles on this topic, he says most of the jobs that could be taken away by AI tend to require a lot of knowledge, especially for jobs that costs employers a lot of money. Hence, Godwin's teachings on solution to loneliness can fit in perfectly, because Godwin's teachings is about training students to develop new skills. But skills and knowledge are different, according to Dr. John Verveek, who created 4 university courses on wisdom, as learning of skills requires following instruction and practice, plus having an instructor is better than not having one. Whereas learning knowledge is something you can do alone by reading a book. Also, the jobs that AI could take away tends to be related to knowledge that can be found in the public domain, so AI could get to it. But Godwin's teachings have yet been published. So as long as his teachings can be kept away from public domain, AI could not get to it, thus won't be able to learn it, and then taking away jobs require it. Third reason why parents and students should get involved, because according to documentary film Generation Jobless, 1 in 3 university and college grads end up in low-skills jobs. In the not-so-distant past, a degree was virtually a guarantee of a secure full-time job, not anymore, but tuition skyrocketed, and students are racking up major debt to pay for it. But Godwin's solution has to do with parents and students protesting for university to pay for the cost of learning solution to loneliness after the price increase, so students can pay as low as $1 per month, for however long the amount of months that are needed for students to master their learning. And after they graduated, they could find jobs related to helping students to get out of loneliness. This movie also said, for the first time in history, young people are competing for jobs with their parents' generation, boomers who are delaying retirement. This could be viewed as excessive competition for students today. But Godwin's solution also involved creating new jobs only for students who mastered their learning of loneliness solution, so students no longer have to compete with older generations for same job. This movie asked, why are so many universities ignoring the day after graduation? Or the universities, will produce too much of what the country doesn't need. Ontario colleges and universities pump out about 8,000 teachers a year, add to that 3,000 more who trained out of province, that's 11,000 new teachers, every year. With only 4,600 retiring annually. Godwin wants to point out, in 2018 he was asked by university during a meeting with Dr. Ferrari there, to create a program to produce a new generation of teachers that can help most students to get out of loneliness. So if Godwin teaches his students how to help most students to get out of loneliness before going to teachers' college, would school hire them or hire other teachers who can't help most students to get out of loneliness? In past video, we talked about 3 times Godwin met with university, but what happened after taught him to never reveal any of his solution to loneliness to anyone again except students of his, as Godwin now learned it was naive for him to assume helping students to get out of loneliness could expect cooperative effort from university, as when other people not giving you credit for what you did but wanting to take your solution, and resulted with you without a job for helping students, can all be described as competitive behavior. Excessive competition for Canadians is a widespread matter according to documentary film Generation Jobless. According to a historian with a PhD from Oxford University, sometimes it is good to question what you believe would happen in the past but did not happen. Since many people might believe if the university did not want Godwin to be helping students to get out of loneliness, then it probably would have better solution to help students to get out of loneliness. As Godwin is already so good in helping students to get out of loneliness that professors believe he found the solution to loneliness for most people already. So if the university can do the same, then it should be on news. But Godwin didn't hear that. This can be reason for protest, as getting rid of somebody who is believed to be able to help most students to get out of their loneliness, only for maintaining a way of helping lonely students that could not help most students to get out of loneliness, which makes no sense. If students agreed that was a mistake, they could protest. Since university is a place of reason and requires justification for decision to get approved. As when Dr. David Cook was principal of Victoria College, he told Godwin in Canada everyone is responsible for their own mistake, so nobody is expected to pay for mistake of other people. Plus, since the university did try to get Godwin to agree giving away ownership of his work that worth millions for a few $100s. This set a precedent for what can go both ways, unless the university is unjust, so students could also demand university to give away a building for a few $100s so Godwin could create Wisdom Institute 2 or WIT for students, but also allow students from across Canada have room and board if they want to come to Toronto to learn this solution.